Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up, fired Canterbury man has his say. 2 stories involving connections to HKR, and the Roosters make the signing of supposedly retired Super League winner. So we'll begin today's episode with the notice that former HKR star Adam Quinlan decided to call time on his playing career after heading back to Australia. Quinlan, who turned 29 only last month, left the Rovers at the end of the 2021 season after opting options by the club not to renew his contract, and with the incoming Lachlan Coots coming into the club. The Australian joined the Robins from St George-Illawarra Dragons ahead of the 2017 campaign, which saw them in the RFL Championship after coming out second in the 2016 £1 million game. Quinlan did indeed help the club secure an immediate return to Super League, and he will be best remembered on East Hull for his sparkling 2018 season that ended with the popular fullback cleaning up at the HKR Awards night. Injuries prevented him from reproducing the kind of form on a consistent basis, but he continued to dazzle along the way, effectively bowing out with 2 tries against Catalan's Dragons in August. Although Quinlan's season saw his season cut short by some troublesome shoulder issues, injuries did not play in part the decision to retire. Once I decided to come home, I decided that was going to be it. Quinlan told Hull Live. I've had a good run and it was time to put rugby aside and move on to whatever's next, which will be a normal job, so to speak, and back into life. At times during the year I wanted to go home and I felt good. After that, I wanted to stay and continue playing. When I was leaving HKR, things were a bit slow on the interest front. When I got talking to my partner and made up my mind to come home. I couldn't fully commit to another year playing rugby overseas, and I didn't want to go in half-hearted. I thought the best thing was to come home, and we had our minds set on that. I was happy and content with it, and I'm ready to move on to whatever's next. Quinlan started off his playing career at St George-Illawarra and had a second spell with the NRL club, following a brief stint at St Helens in 2015. He also had a contract with the Parramatta Eels in 2015, as he signed a 1-year contract with them. But despite not playing a game for the Parramatta Eels, it was the interest of St Helens bringing him to the UK which perked his interest. He came mid-season, with an effective release immediately from his Parramatta contract, and made 12 appearances and scored 6 tries for St Helens in a short spell at the club. In total, he played 29 games for St George-Illawarra, scoring 9 tries during that time. And then he went on to Hull KR with figures up to the 15th of June 2021, saying that he played 65 games from 2017 and 30 tries in that period. He's a diminutive fullback, and he made himself home in England during his time at the Rovers, but lacked the desire to stay on following his release from the club, despite late interest from Championship club League Centurions. Lee did come in, but by that time my mind was made up to head home, Quinlan said, who scored 30 tries in 57 Super League appearances overall. If they had come in a month or 6 weeks before that, who knows, I may have well gone there. But by the time me and my partner had discussed it and had our mind set on it, we were getting things in place to come back home. So it was just a little bit too late. Back in Australia, Quinlan plans to work with underprivileged youths after hanging up his boots and is awaiting the outcome of a recent job interview. He has closed the door on a potential return to the professional game, but it could soon be tearing it up at amateur level in New South Wales. When asked whether he felt he had left the door for a future comeback, Quinlan said, "I don't think so. Still feel I've had plenty of good years left in me. I'd obviously had some issues with injuries, but that was never a reason for it. I just felt there were times during the season I wanted to come home, and at times I was questioning whether I wanted to do it still. I thought if I'm thinking like that, I can't go in half-hearted. Now I've made my mind up, I'm looking forward to moving to other areas of work. I'd probably play rugby over here at a local level and just have a bit of fun, but that will be the second part of my life. It won't be the main part of my life now." So the diminutive fullback has made it clear that unless he really got a serious offer on the table from a rugby league club, he would not be playing rugby league at semi-pro or even professional levels, unless it was in Australia. So rugby's still in his heart. He's going to play it for fun, which is good. If you're going to have fun, might as well do it that way. But hey, good luck in his new life, and hopefully it's as successful and as fruitful as the rugby league life has been for you, and hopefully you make as many friends and fans as you did in East Hull. So HKR's pre-season training camp to the Tenerife has been cancelled. Deferred was the way that they put it, for 2022 until the end of 2022 now. And this is due to the uncertainty of the COVID-19 travel regulations due to variants popping up here, there and everywhere. It's sure to have hit the Tony Smith side's plans in preparation for the 2020. But they made sure that they were keeping all their players safe and available for the festive period. On their website, they said, "HKR can confirm the first team's Tenerife training camp has been deferred until the end of 2022. The decision comes with the recent changes and continued uncertainty to the COVID-19 travel regulations, creating logistical issues for the Robins' 10-day trip to the Canary Island. Deferring the trip also ensures the club does not run the risk of players having to quarantine over Christmas, subsequently hindering their families during the festive period." Well, it's what they must do, and it's a sensible option by the Robins. He said they want to keep their families together during the festive period instead of a quarantine for up to 14 days. Which would mean if they went on the schedule of, say, this weekend, they would go for the 10-day trip and then they'd be going into the Christmas period with a quarantine process. So, sensible, and they'll probably have plans to do something elsewhere when it comes time. It's a story that we've nibbled about over a few episodes, but Canterbury Bulldogs had decided to tear up 28-year-old John Asiata's contract and agreed by mutual consent that they part ways. Asiata signed with the Bulldogs for the 2022 season after a stint with the Brisbane Broncos, but was handed a termination notice last month, with the club requiring all players to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19. The NRL does not have a mandate in place, as I keep saying, for the players to be fully vaccinated, unlike the AFL in Australia, but Canterbury have been firm on their stance as an organisation. In a statement on their website after the agreement was come to an arrangement, the Bulldogs and John Asiata have agreed to part ways by mutual consent. The club said in a statement, Asiata signed with the club this season but had yet to train with the squad. The Bulldogs wish John and his family all the best for the future. That part was directly for the NRL, that he hadn't trained with the club yet. Canterbury football manager Phil Gould said he was hoping Asiata would change his mind last month, but the club would explore options should he decide not to roll up his sleeves. In November, the NRL estimated around 20 to 24 players were yet to be vaccinated, and CEO of the NRL, Andrew Abdo, was forced to defend the governing body's policy, saying he didn't think there was anything soft about their rules. We want people to have the freedom of choice, which I think is important, Abdo said. But we are putting health at the forefront of our policy, which is why we believe in the vaccination, and we want everybody to get vaccinated. Abdo, though, has come out in comments against everything that has gone on his own social media posts, as he said directly to everyone through his own social media, "Hey guys, I would like to thank everyone for the support being shown to myself and my family. We are truly grateful. It's not been an easy time or decision, but it is one I have full peace with. If you know me, you know I always stay true to my convictions and values. One of those values is freedom of choice and bodily autonomy for my family and I. I love and respect anyone who has decided to take it out of their own free will, and I sympathise with everyone who felt coerced and pressured to keep food on the table for their families. I love rugby league and everything it has afforded me, and if it's in God's will for me to continue that in the future, He will open that door. God bless." At this point, I don't think God is the one that's driving this message at this point. If he's getting all the right information and about the COVID vaccine mandates and what the side effects are and what goes into there and so on and so forth, everything to do with the vaccine, shall we put it that way, and he's decided that it's not for him, that's his choice. I'm a firm believer of freedom of choice, but a firm believer in no freedom of consequence. If you are employed by a company and their rules say that you must do this, you've got to do this. If you don't, you can always move on. That's the consequence, moving on. Asiata himself said he'd rather work construction than be forced into the vaccine. Okay, that's your choice. You may love the opportunities that rugby league give you. Construction still has the same rules. Now, everyone has their choice, yes. Not the freedom of consequence. I don't want you playing with a player who goes in for a tackle, is dead close, catches COVID-19 off you, one of the variants, then goes home and infects his family members, an elderly family member, who subsequently pass away. Which links are there? I'm glad that you've decided to follow your own heart, which is moving on is a good part by the club. That's all in my opinion, and it shows responsible actions by the club for that moving. Good luck, Mr. Asiata, in whatever you do next. So we finished today's video with the announcement from Kevin Naiqama that the former Saints star has abandoned his plans to retire and signed a one-year contract with the NRL side, the Sydney Roosters. The 32-year-old centre announced his decision to hang up his boots in the wake of scoring 2 tries and awarded the Harry Sunderland Trophy in Saints' 12 points to 10 grand final win-up at Titans Dragons back in October, in a final that I actually attended. However, the Roosters have now announced the capture of the Fiji captain for the 2022 NRL season, and Naiqama's decision puts him in a position to lead his country at the Postpone 2021 World Cup. In a statement about the move, the Roosters are pleased to announce the signing of Fiji captain and 3-time Super League champion Kevin Naiqama for the 2022 season. A statement from the club read, Naiqama has played 113 matches in the NRL for the Newcastle Knights, Penrith Panthers and the West Tigers before joining St Helens ahead of the 2019 season. During his time at the Totally Wicked Stadium, he played a part in the Saints' 3 straight grand final triumphs and helped them lift the Challenge Cup at Wembley in July this year. On the international stage, he has featured in 19 tests and 10 World Cup matches, being captain of Fiji since 2016, and will be aiming to return to these shores with the team in October and November next year. Naiqama reported for pre-season training with the Roosters on Wednesday, and he hopes to be in the squad for the opening match of the 2022 season in the NRL at home to Newcastle Knights, which starts for them and the Roosters on Saturday, March the 12th. So it's an interesting turnabout, and one that wasn't completely unexpected, to be fair, as wants to captain Fiji in the World Cup. It's a good way to say goodbye to Saints fans, and also a good way to end his rugby league career. A semi-final place is what's best, what could be seen as best for a Fijian team, but with the likes of Australia, New Zealand, Samoa and Tonga fighting for that berth, even France, 6 into 4 doesn't go. So my initial estimations that it will be, don't know, it'll be Australia in the final. Then they'll either play England or New Zealand, unless New Zealand get knocked out by Samoa or Tonga. Then it will be an England-Australia final. It's tough, a tough one. But all teams will be facing be aiming to beat one team for the World Cup, and that's Australia. So Fiji are in with a shout for the semi-finals in my estimations, and with Kevin Naiqama they are even tougher now. 2 very, very good centres, one at the Storm and one at the Roosters, and they could be challenging for top honours in 2022 with the NRL Grand Final. Well, I'm going to say it now, Roosters Storm Grand Final. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide. Also clicking that notification bell for any new videos that come your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode. Adam Quinlan, retiring at just 29 years old. You think he can find another club down in Australia? Don't know. Do you think he could find another club in Europe if he wanted to? I'm sure he could. He's been quite good, consistent with the clubs that he's been with. HKR also not being able to go to Tenerife due to the COVID pandemic and the Omicron variant. It's sad, but needs must at this time. How about our other episodes today? John Asiata coming out on social media you think he's right to do so? He's got his own way to say things, but you think he's right about how he's been treated? In my opinion, no. It's what needs to happen so that the show can go on. And also, Josh Hodgson. I know he's got to move, and I will go through that in tomorrow's episode, but do you think Raiders will miss him? I think they will. He's got experience, he's been there for a while, it seems to be a favourite. It's quite an interesting move. I know he's on a big contract like many others who come over from the UK, but he's got a bit of experience. Plus the trials and tribulations of Tom Starling are causing a factor into some of the decisions that they need to make. But anyway, that's for another day and for you to speak to me on the comments board about. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Share this video worldwide so that we can get the word out about our sport. But in the meantime, thank you so much. All the best. Stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.